Coming up, a song that has received a lot of hate in its time. Many don't want to admit that they actually know every lyric. In fact, I would say if you're a Gen-Xer and you claim not to know every single word to this massive #1 hit, you're a big fat liar. I present to you an exclusive interview with maybe the greatest Bottle Lightning story of them all. For about a year, he was huge. And then almost overnight, he was a pariah. And many were livid that he ripped off a legendary song, but he actually introduced the song to many all over the world for the first time, as it really wasn't a hit in America. So there's so many twists and turns to this story. It's must-see TV for sure. It's coming up next on Professor of Rock. Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. You know, if you can still quote the best lines from classic movies of the 80s, Back to the Future, Top Gun, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, all these years later, you're going to dig this channel. This is Nostalgia Central. Make sure that you subscribe below right now. Click the big red button to do that and the bell. And that way you know when our new stuff drops. We also have a Patreon, and there you're going to find an additional catalog of exclusive content. You can become an honorary producer and help us curate this music history. I feel like it's so important, especially with losing so many legends lately. That's what this is all about. So it's time for another edition of our series, Bottled Lightning. This is where we celebrate a song or an album that was king for a day or many days. And here we honor artists and bands that zoomed up the charts, but for reasons unknown, they weren't able to sustain that success. Of course, sometimes we know the reason. That's why we study this. They're called one-hit wonders by many, but we celebrate them here as lightning in a bottle. And today, we have an interview with the artist behind one of the preeminent Bottle Lightning songs ever. And trust me, even if you're not a fan of this song or this artist based on what you know before, you're going to want to stick around for this story and interview because it'll surprise you. It's always cool when you're not expecting something and it hits you like a ton of bricks. This is a song that every Gen-Xer knows the lyrics by heart to, if you want to admit it. It's an artist who got chewed up by the corrupt music industry and was spit out and actually made it through. He sampled the bass line from Queen and David Bowie's phenomenal single, Under Pressure. Of course, I'm talking about Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice was born from the song, and the song that was actually a B-side to his remake single, Play That Funky Music, became a #1 smash in 1990. Something real sexy and nice. Play that funky music, Vanilla Ice. And it helped his album To the Extreme sell almost 9 million copies, and it spent 15 weeks at #1. And according to some sources, including Robert Van Winkle himself, aka Vanilla Ice, all in all, it was the impetus of selling over 40 million singles and records worldwide. And his song, Ice Ice Baby, this garnered over 1 billion streams so far. Now, I caught up with Vanilla Ice, and I got the whole history behind this lightning in a bottle pop smash. Now, before we get into this interview, I do want to say something about Vanilla Ice. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I'm being serious. In my time around him, I witnessed some things that really impressed me about him, about his character. Now, he was the headliner of this big 90s tour a few years ago. And after the show was over, he sat there on the concert floor and he signed autographs and he took pictures with every single fan there, every single one of them. And there were well over 1,000 people waiting that stayed after to do this. And the other thing, he also noticed a little girl way in the back who was, getting crowded out. And he stopped everything he was doing. He walked all the way around to go get her and bring her to the front. He danced with her, and her parents filmed it, and she loved it. There's like 4 or 5 other examples that I could give, but I was really impressed with his demeanor, his commitment, his character. He made a lot of mistakes, as we all do, as a young man on the way up. But, he learned a great deal, and I just found him to be very humble, very grateful. And I know I'm going to get some flack for putting this one up. It's not rock, I know. But I have to say, Ice Ice Baby, it's a song that still makes me smile. I think it's a pop culture touchstone. It's not going to change your life, but it's a fun little ditty. and it takes you back to those memories. And you have to credit the ripoff. Queen and Bowie, they got their writing credits and their royalties. And even Brian May has said that Ice Ice Baby introduced Under Pressure to a lot of new fans because, you have to remember that Under Pressure, it wasn't a big hit in America. It was in the UK, but not really here. So give this a chance. I think you'll like it. Now, as we go into this interview, I do want to thank our sponsor, Zenni Eyewear. The glasses, the only brand for me. Make sure to click on our link below to go shop select styles, design your own frames, the color, the shape, the size, rock a mic like a vandal, if you will. Sorry, had to go there. With Zenni's latest styles. Here's Vanilla Ice with Ice Ice Baby.
Well, hello.
Hello, hello. Great crowd out there, man.
I'm writing my set list right now. I actually should have done this earlier. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Did you pump up your shoes? Remember those?
Yeah, oh yeah, the Reebok pumps.
I'm ready now.
Oh yeah. Let's be clear, the only people that don't know the lyrics to this song are toddlers. Because it's one of those songs, it's like Happy Birthdays. It's one of those songs that everybody knows, man.
It's an anthem, and I'm honored. And thank you.
Absolutely.
For that. Yeah, it's magical.
It is.
My mom always said, I don't know what it is about you, but there's been some fairy dust sprinkled all over you. Something magical. When I turned, I think it was 16, I wrote Ice Ice Baby. Something took over. I can't even explain it, but I know that there's some magic element to it. That just, it happened, and we caught that, and that moment in time. I don't have a favorite song. Of all my songs, it's not Ice Ice Baby, it's not any of them. You can't choose your own and have a favorite of your own. It's, all of it is part of me. So once you release it, it's just up to the fans to, we can't pick them, they pick us. So the way that they gravitated towards Ice Ice Baby is purely magical. I remember I was in high school, I would go down the hallway and I'd tell people, I say, yo, they would say, you going to that concert tonight, right? And I said, going? Shoot, I'm in it, I'm playing. They were like, yeah, right, right. I said, get there early. You'll see.
I love it, man.
But it was, to me, I didn't get paid or anything to get up there. It's not about a demo tape. Never has been. That was a myth to people thinking that they're going to get a record deal from a demo tape. You got to be known. You got to create, mobbing, and you got to go out, and when the crowd is coming out of the mall or the concerts, you got to do your thing. You got to be known. You got to create a buzz, right?
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you heard it on the radio?
Yeah, I remember it.
Where were you? Tell me about that.
I was in Dallas, still at home, trying to rub two nickels together. I was jumping up and down, so excited. I was trying to call everybody, but everybody was trying to call me too. And it was amazing, man.
Gosh.
Oh, we were beside ourselves. I didn't sleep for a week. It's cool to look back at it. I never really stop to smell the roses. I need to. So it's cool to kind of reminisce. And I don't know, I live off of a phrase that kind of doesn't allow me to have an ego. So it's called yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. I take life day by day. So everything that happened in my past is really cool and neat. Like, I know about all that stuff, but it doesn't move me today. It doesn't do anything for me like it should. I appreciate it all. And believe me, I appreciate all the fans and everything and all this. It's magical, but I don't focus on what I did yesterday. And I don't worry about where I'm going tomorrow or what I'm going to do. I'm just day by day, man. That helped me because I had a self-destruction moment like Justin Bieber, where the snow globe got shaken up so bad that, my weekend lasted about 3 years. So it made me who I am, because we are who we are because of who we were. And one of the most grateful things I've ever learned in life was yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. So I wake up day by day, very stressless, enjoying life. And that enables me to focus more on what I'm doing and get more done.
All right, stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention.
To the extreme, here it is, of course. And I've had this album
160 million records.
Yeah, much like Michael Jackson Thrill. I've bought this a ton of times,
Unbelievable.
Right? First rap song to go to #1. This spent 16 weeks at #1, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. There have only been like 40 albums in the history of music that have spent that much time at #1.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Because it was released as a B-side. Play that funky music.
Funny
Tell us
story,
about-
a guy brought the album last night on Ichiban. Brought it last night and I bought it from him. He said, can you sign this? I said, can I buy this? He goes, what? I go, how much do you pay for it? He said, I paid $200. I said, you did not. I'll double whatever you paid. So here, I gave him $400 and I have it.
Awesome.
It's at the hotel right now. I haven't even have one for my own collection.
No,
yes, it was the B-side.
Yeah.
And it was showed on there. The B-side, Ice Ice Baby.
There was a DJ that turned it over.
Yeah.
Played the B-side. Yeah.
In Georgia.
And you know, even Public Enemy said it, man, that you diversify. You kind of brought rap to the suburbs.
Your brain like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best.
16 years old. How did that come to you? Was it just stream of conscious?
I wrote that song in 20 minutes. And every other song around that, even the ones we couldn't get sample clearances, and you know, it was crazy because the way it was, the creative juices were just flowing so much out of me. I would absorb everything about it. And that's what I did. I was influenced by the music from the funk to the rap. Egyptian Lover came out. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Egypt Lover. And then the pop locking. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. And so many dance moves. And Ice Ice Baby is just a story about A1A Beachfront Avenue. It was about a weekend. And it tells a whole story.
To A1A, Beachfront Avenue. Girls were hot, ripping nest in bikinis.
You listen to a lot of your brother's records, and he had a Queen and some of that stuff, and that's where some of that stuff came from.
Yeah, he had a big record vinyl collection, you know, of like rock and roll. He was the rock and roll guy. I was only hip hop back then. That was it. You couldn't tell me nothing. You know, you're a kid. You shut your mind. You're like a horse with blinders, and you just focus on what you're going to be into, and that's it. Now I've broadened. I love AC/DC.
Yeah,
I love some of the rock stuff. Motley Crue, he was into. You know, I love all of that now. And it was really funny because it was like way after they hit, and it was already like, you're just now discovering that. What are you listening to? That's weird. Vanilla Ice listening to Motley Crue. What are you doing listening to that, man?
Well, you do it too. You're
like today,
new music.
my ringtone is Frank Sinatra.
I love
Let's fly away.
yeah.
And
Fly
people
with
are
me,
like, what? And I'm a huge Elvis fan, and Beatles and all this stuff was way before I was born. So maybe that's how I can see how these people are translating today with such a youthful audience that I have today. It's amazing.
Pack up, let's fly away.
When I was going through my brother's records, I found Queen. They were rapping. You know, one of the first rappers in the world was Muhammad Ali. And a lot of people don't know that.
And I said, Joe's gonna come out smoking, and I ain't gonna be joking.
And then came Blondie, and then came
Rapture.
Yeah, so rap was out before Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill took it to the new heights, though. But you know, when I was going through the records of my brother, I saw that Queen record, man, and I was like, man, this group is funky, and they rock, and every single song is just so much passion bleeding through that record. And I found this one that they did, David Bowie.
Yeah.
With David Bowie?
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta hear this. As soon as that riff came in, ding, 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 I was hooked. And I was just like, oh my God. And so I had this SP1200 drum machine, and we were just looping this stuff with my DJ, Earthquake. So magical, man. And then it all just came together in 20 minutes. I wrote that song.
And the most misunderstood thing ever is when you gave that interview on MTV, you were totally joking. People don't understand.
It was a joke.
You say, mine goes ding, 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 ding. And I knew that.
It's so funny. They can take things so serious. Guys, here's the new rule, okay? Don't take anything too serious.
Ding, 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 ding. That little bitty change. It's not the same.
You had a video. The manager heard and paid for a video, and you guys put the video out. You filmed that up on the rooftop. Tell me about that real quick.
The video for Ice Ice Baby?
Yeah. Because that allowed
Probably
you to
the
dance.
cheapest video ever played on MTV.
I know.
You know, and number one, and made them more money than any other video.
Right.
We got a loan from 3 different people. It cost me $5,000 to make the video.
Gosh.
But the greatest thing about it is the record was already number one. They were like, do you have a video? I was like, no, we don't have no money. We've been talking about doing it. We ain't no money to do it.
All right, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention.
You know, a funny story about the video, the 5.0 in the video, I didn't know it was gonna be that nostalgic today. Like it's in the movie they did with Adam Sandler called That's My Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
And gosh, I was just the whole time I was like, why did I sell that car? I've got Ferraris and Rolls Royces, everything, and I would take that old 5.0 over all of them right now. I mean, hands down. Gosh, you know how many times after the movie I get asked, you know, do you still have the 5.0?
Yeah.
You still got the 5.0?
So many people pay attention to every word in Ice Ice Baby. And they mimicked the dance moves from the video.
Oh yeah, I did that. I had a mirror too, and I always looked.
It's amazing.
And even
even the album cover, like this is way after.
Yeah.
It was black. We couldn't even afford a photo session to even take photos.
Right.
But we made the music, and that led to just finding a way, and that's what we call grinding. You're chasing the dream. You never really live in it. It's more fun about the adventure.
Now that the party is jumping, with the bass kicked in and the Vegas all pumping.
So I want to ask you about a couple of words from Ice Ice Baby that have entered the popular lexicon. I mean,
people learn English on this song.
They do.
I go to Germany, Russia, Japan. I even play Muslim countries, Saudi Arabia. I think I played Iran, man. But they don't understand the slang. Shay with the gauge, vanilla with the 9?
Yeah.
What?
Which actually, if I understand, you're not saying DJ, you're saying D-Shay.
It's both in there. DJ and
Tell us about
and
D-Shay, because he was a friend of yours.
D-Shay was a friend of mine. Yeah. He was a fill-in DJ because Earthquake was my original DJ. That's my, my DJ. He couldn't go, I don't know if I should say it, just 25 years ago, but he couldn't leave. He had to take care of mom, and he didn't know it was going to be huge. He couldn't go on tour, and then it blew up, and then we brought him out then. He was like, holy snap. Wow. Yeah. I'm coming on tour. All right. But D-Shay was a great dude. Love him, man. The guy was a DJ at a club, knew of me. He had his own little thing going on. I used to think this guy never slept. He just wouldn't sleep because he lived the club life. And D-Shay was an incredible DJ. He could get the party going like you wouldn't believe. And we would come together and create something so magical, man. So I had my little clique, and we were called the VIP.
Yep.
And the VIP was, we had each other's back like you wouldn't believe. Like, we're all ninjas. That's a funny sounding thing because some people think it's related to the Ninja Turtles, and it does have a connection to that.
Yeah.
But it's not from that. It is from being ninja and being stealth and elusive since we were kids.
When you said, yo, VIP, let's kick it. That's who you're talking to.
And that bonded us all, man. And we all have the same tattoo on the ankle. First tattoo I ever got.
Really?
Yep.
If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
Rock a mic like a vandal. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook. Where did these things come from? I mean, was it just really?
I'm a tagger from way back in the day, so I would go around and people they frown on that stuff, and I call it art. I kind of had fun just being a jackass when I was a kid. I was so full of energy and wild, and I never thought about selling 160 million records.
No.
Or anything like that. I never thought about what kind of audience I was catering to because I didn't have much of an audience. And then, and I always played for black crowd. That was it. That's all I thought I'd ever play for. That was hip hop. That's what I play for. That's what I did. That's how I came up. And when it blew up and went #1, oh my God.
He crossed the finish line when he became the first rapper ever to hit #1 on the pop singles charts.
This song wasn't just #1 and huge in America, though. This is a worldwide smash. It was #1 in almost every country.
Very true.
#3 in the UK. When it went to #3, it was at a record at the time. It debuted, the highest debut ever at '3.
Yeah.
And then also, I want to ask you about Glee, man, and the pop culture, how it's been used throughout the last 25 years. Glee. What'd you think when you saw that, man?
That was huge. I love it. I was like, that's amazing. I'm never, it always amazes me to see the song still be, just used in all kinds of places, not just, gum commercials and
Weird Al Yankovic, man.
But like Step Brothers in the movie. It's even in the new Ninja Turtle movie. What is the other one? Penguins? Popper's Penguins.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it. I'm just sitting there watching it. Yeah, it goes on and on, right? It's like the influence of how this song has been tattooed to pop culture, and from here to Russia to China. It amazes me, man. I'm very honored. Very honored.
Re-entered the charts. Your version re-entered the charts.
Yep.
A couple times, actually. And then Wigfield, the Danish artist, took it to #1 in the UK, man. Was that just mind-blowing?
Even Jedward in Ireland. It's crazy how it just continues on. And when you bring it to perspective the way you sit down and can talk about it like this, that's the greatest. I love interacting with people. I went out and lived with the Amish for a while. No cell phones, no electricity. I love that.
All right, stop. Collaborating this ice is back on my brand new invention. Something.
You could put 20,000 people in a room and you could throw out all these topics. You're going to have all these opposites, right? We live in a really divisive time. But those same 20,000 people, what they have in common is the music. You put a band on stage and they're singing every word together in unison. And Ice Ice Baby is one of those songs. When you look out into the crowd and you see all those young people and 3-4 different generations singing your song, tell me about that moment, what it feels like. What does that feel like?
You got to come to a concert because I become something else on stage. It's so magical that to put it in words wouldn't even justify it. I become part of it. It's like the first, it's like when that song plays, it's like the first time I'm playing it every time, because I'm enjoying it with them at that time. I feed off people's energy and I become one with them. I appreciate my fans more than you ever know.
Let me hear you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Leave us a comment about Ice Ice Baby and Vanilla Ice. What do you remember about this song? What do you think about the sample? What do you think about all the controversy? I don't know if you've seen him lately. He had a TV show some years ago, but he's a heck of a nice guy. Anyway, let's have a good discussion below. Sometimes it's fun to every now and again do a song that's just a memory. It's not a song that's going to necessarily change your life, but it's just an entertaining story to go with it. So, if you like the content, make sure to subscribe below. We'd love to have you. And until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.